Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be here with all of you, kicking off our day together. My name's Andromeda, and I'm a trauma-focused licensed psychotherapist. I'm also former Miss United States, and a big part of what I do is just trying to put as much information as I can out there on different wellness and mental health tips, hopefully things that are digestible and easy to apply in your day-to-day lives. And it's not about doing everything perfectly, just taking little things that we can practice. So I think if there's anything I'm wanting to offer in today's talk, it's just that keyword of practice, taking in the information, taking your time, making sense of it on your own time, and doing your best to practice implementing some of these things in your day-to-day life. So I'm extra excited to be kicking off the day because the morning is my favorite time of day to do all of my mindfulness work. And I try to find little ways throughout the day to do it, but the mornings for me are like my favorite place to do my self-care. So the reason why it's important for us to talk about how to work on practicing different things that we can do for our minds and bodies in the morning is because we're constantly exerting a lot of physical and emotional energy throughout our day. And giving ourselves some time to ground before we get started gives us a nice solid foundation to work from, even if it's not perfectly solid, but some kind of rooted foundation that we can always come back to. So I think as women, it's especially important because, we're known for wearing different hats, but actually anyone. To put it plainly, I feel like there's different spaces that we find ourselves where we're facing pressure, whether it be looking at the stress of the political climate, whether it be our social environments, juggling the different responsibilities that we have for people in our lives, whether it be family, friends, maybe different kinds of partnerships. Those could even be personal partnerships and professional partnerships. Sometimes we hold space for people in our lives in those environments as well. And with that said, because we're constantly giving so much of our energy and, physical energy, emotional energy, we're losing a little bit of battery life as we go along. With my clients, I love to use the spoons analogy. I'm not sure if you've heard it before, but what the analogy says is that when your battery is most charged, you start your day with 10 different spoons, and that's on like the best day ever. Maybe like if you went on vacation and came back super rested, you would have 10 different spoons. But throughout the day, all day long, you're giving a spoon for all the energy you exert. So if on a perfect day, which I don't know when I've had a perfect day like this before, but on a perfect day, you might have 10 spoons in the morning. And then maybe by your first morning meeting, just to kind of get out of bed and get started, you lose 2 spoons. So you have 8 spoons to start your morning meeting. Again, this is on a perfect day. And let's say that meeting is long and you're doing a lot and maybe a lot of important, impactful work, but you're still giving so much of your time and your energy. Maybe after that morning meeting alone, you might go down to 2 or 3 spoons. So by that point, we're 6 spoons left at best. And then you've got work to do throughout your day. Maybe there are other things that you're juggling, so you might lose another one. So maybe by lunchtime, you have 5 or 4 spoons left. And throughout your day, you keep losing different spoons. And so if you don't have a night that feels restful, where you feel like you've been able to take some time for yourself, you might not wake up the next day with 10 spoons to start. So throughout my day, from time to time, I like to ask myself, well, how many spoons do I have left? And so maybe because you've had a really busy night and a really busy day the night before, you might start off your day with 3 or 2 spoons. And that's not a lot to work with. So that's why I love to emphasize on giving ourselves a little bit of a mindful morning and just doing small and little things that we can to get our batteries as charged as we can and to help our minds and bodies feel as regulated as we can. So women on average, especially, if we're just going to talk about mental health statistics alone, we're twice as likely than men to experience or be diagnosed with a depressive disorder or a mood disorder. We're twice as likely to be diagnosed with an anxiety disorder and twice as likely to be diagnosed with PTSD. And I think those numbers are pretty telling when just in America alone, 1 in 5 individuals have a mental health disorder. And those are just for people included in the study. And I think there are so many numbers that go unreported. So I don't put this out there so that we can feel discouraged as women. I think we're breaking barriers. We're creating positive impact in our lives and our communities. And that work is so powerful and important. And I'm not saying that we need to stop anytime soon. It's important that we continue to lift each other up and take up space, but it's also important to give some of that compassion inwards to ourselves. And there are small little things that we can do for ourselves to make that happen. So the very first thing I want to talk about in terms of what we can actually do to create a mindful morning for ourselves, take care of our mind and bodies, is breath work. Breathing is life. I heard an individual say during a speaking engagement that it's so powerful because it's the first thing that we do when we're brought into the world, and it's the last thing that we do when we leave. So as you can imagine, always returning to the breath work can give the body and mind the vitality and the energy that it needs for sustainability on a day-to-day basis. And I love breath work because it takes care of the mind and body. And a lot of mindfulness work looks at this term called the bottom-up approach. And what that means is taking care of the physical body first, and the mind will follow. For example, if I'm feeling pretty anxious in this moment, my body might be feeling that on a physiological stance. I might have an upset stomach. I might notice that my heart might be beating super fast. Maybe my palms might get sweaty. For me, I feel like I always have different changes in body temperature where my body might get really, really warm and I might feel like I have too many layers on. And so those are my signs that my body is feeling pretty unstable in that moment. And I want to normalize that too, because it happens sometimes. And it's just the body's way of alerting us like, hey, I need something from you. I need a little bit of attention. And so if I can take care of the body, then my mind is going to be more receptive to whatever it is that I want to put in. And breath work is a really great way to do that. So the very first thing that I want to teach you all is a breathing exercise that you can do anywhere. And there are so many different types of breathing exercises. Maybe you've seen some from different speakers on YouTube or TikTok or other social media platforms. So there is no wrong way to do breath work. This is just one that I personally like doing. I've taught different people in my life and also some of the clients who I get to work with too. And this one is called 741, but you can always alter it and change it to fit your body's needs and your body's abilities. So first I'll explain it. I'll do it once and then maybe we can try it together. So what you do is you take a deep inhale from your diaphragm. So breathing from that lower region, and you breathe in slowly and you breathe in for 7 seconds. And then what you do is you'll hold your breath for 4 seconds. And then for the last breath, you just let it all out. You don't have to count or do anything. You just let it all release from your body. And I like to do this if I'm in a hurry or if I'm in a meeting and I'm sitting next to people, I'll do it anyway. And I can do this at least 3 times if I'm in a hurry. However, if I'm feeling a little dysregulated, maybe really anxious or tense that day, maybe something going on that is stressing me out, or maybe something came up in my personal life that's triggering me emotionally, I might give myself a little bit of extra time with this and set my timer on my phone for maybe 1 to 3 minutes and do this exercise. And that always, always helps. I might not feel 100% worry free after that, but we always want to aim for, do we feel 3% better or 5% or maybe even more? And the more that we do this, the body will kind of learn to follow our cues to relax, learn to trust us. So it's a great way to also begin to develop a healthy relationship with our bodies. So I'll go back to the exercise and let's try it together. Before I do any kind of breath work, I like to be mindful of how I'm sitting, try to make sure that I'm as comfortable as I can be, and just pause for a second, notice my surroundings and feel how my body might feel wherever it is that I'm seated, or if I'm laying down, or even just standing, away from people somewhere in a corner, just wanting to take a moment to myself. And I personally like to place my hand right here, like on my chest or even on my side of my face, just to give myself some physical contact. And I like to bring my attention to just feel how my hand might feel in this part of my body. If you don't want to do this, you can just place your hands on your lap and just still bring your awareness to that point, into that area of physical contact. And just notice how it feels to feel your hands placed on your lap, or coming back from me, back to my chest area. And I will first start off taking a nice, slow and controlled deep breath in from my diaphragm for 7 seconds. Hold for 4. And releasing. So we're going to try it again a few more times. I'm just going to do the count with my fingers. When you see me go like this, that means hold. And when I go to 1, let it all out and allow your body to feel more and more relaxed as you can every single time. So we'll try it again. Inhaling. Try it again and see if this time you can really pay attention and notice the sound of your breathing, inhaling and exhaling. So trying it again, inhaling. Pushing the air out nice and slow. A couple more times, inhaling. And again. One more time. Inhaling. Very, very good. So you can do that breath work exercise before you start your day. Maybe that's the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning. And if you set your timer for 1 to 3 minutes, that's just 1 minute or 3 minutes of your morning. I think that's great. And again, this is one that you can always come back to whenever you're feeling a little bit triggered or worried or just a little bit of tension, or just want to give your body a nice breather. Sometimes I do this if I don't feel any kind of discomfort in particular, just because it feels good to do so. It slows down our heart rates, regulates our nervous system, which is great because if the body's feeling pretty even, we can access the things that we need from our mind more with a bit more efficiency. So the next thing that I would really love to walk you through is a guided meditation. And I love meditation, and I always hear from people that meditation just isn't for me. And that's okay. I'm here to let you know that that is more than okay. I think there's a lot of content out there that kind of pressures us to make something work for us just because it's good for us. But if it's not your thing, that's more than fine. And I have to say, I do love meditation, but sometimes when I feel like I'm at my busiest, it's kind of hard to sit in silence and just not do anything. So I love to start with breath work to prepare myself for meditation. And I really love guided meditations because my brain has something to focus on. I've got a very active mind. So if I can listen to instructions that someone else is giving me, then even better. And I don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just sit or lie down and just listen. If you want to follow along, you're more than welcome to, but just the sitting and lying down process and trying to just take breath works throughout it, which you'll hear me prompting you throughout this next course, is going to be very helpful and very good for your body. So first thing I'll say is prompting you again to get yourself in a comfortable position, whether you're laying down or sitting down. If you are sitting, try to put your feet planted on the ground so that you can feel a little bit rooted to where you're sitting if you're in a chair. But if you're sitting on a bed, you can sit cross-legged if you'd like, or just rest your feet out in front of you. If you're laying down, just try and lay flat on your back versus kind of like curled up in a little ball, because I know that position is very comfortable, but we want to just have your body feel as loose as possible instead of being in a more of a restricted position. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is just either close or lower your eyes, whatever feels best for you. If you are sitting, I do like to place my hands on my lap, whether my palms are touching my lap like this or palms facing upward. I personally love to have my palms facing upward on my lap. I get to feel kind of how the air feels around me. So just first start by getting in a position that feels comfortable for you. So sitting or lying down, getting yourself nice and comfortable. I'm going to place my back against the chair behind me, closing or lowering your eyes, and just taking a slow and controlled, where you can hear it, deep breath in through your nose and exhale. Very good. Taking another deep breath in through your nose. And exhale. Very good. Taking one more deep breath in through your nose. And exhale. Allowing your breathing to just go back to its normal pace and rhythm. I want you to imagine that you are taking a walk in a place that feels comfortable and safe for you. Maybe you've been in this place before, maybe you haven't. I always imagine myself out in nature at some point, whether I'm by an ocean somewhere or in a nice green forest, lots of vegetation around me, just as some examples. But imagine whichever place that is for you. It could even be your bedroom or your couch. Just imagine that you're either sitting someplace comfortably, whether it be in a place indoors or outdoors. And if you're sitting in this ideal place, what are some things that you see around you? Take a moment to just look around and allow yourself to connect with this vision. And if honestly, if you can't connect with this sense, that's more than okay. Imagine then what might you hear if you're in this place of choice? What could you see and or what could you hear? And just try to notice that. And if you need to access a different sense, imagine what might you feel? Meaning, where would you be sitting? If you're sitting somewhere outdoors, would you just find yourself sitting down in a chair somewhere in the sand if you have a beach chair, or just right on the sand itself? Might you be sitting on a rock if you're in the woods somewhere, or just in the grass if you're in a field? And try to imagine the texture of whatever surface you're sitting or standing on. Notice what it feels like beneath your skin, beneath your body, or beneath your feet. Taking another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Allowing yourself to feel a deep connection to your surroundings. And with each thing that you notice, imagine your body feeling more and more relaxed and more at peace. Taking another deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, feeling more relaxed. Very good. I want you to imagine that now you have company. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's your pet, if you're a dog or a cat person, or both. Imagine someone or something that you love and care about right in front of you. And just take a moment to see if you can allow yourself to connect with either their presence, what their presence might feel like if you can't visually see them in your mind's eye. But if you can visually see them, try to imagine their features. Maybe you're imagining their face, their eyes and those features. Maybe you're imagining their voice. Or maybe you just feel a certain kind of feeling whenever their presence is with you. Maybe you can connect with that. Now that you spend a few moments here, imagine them telling you some really good news or you're imagining that they've received some really good news. Someone that you love and care about, like it says they're having the best day of their lives. They're laughing, they're giggling. If it's one of your animals, you're imagine them running around, wagging their tail, whatever it is, and you're just watching this individual bask in pure bliss, bask in pure joy, and bask in pure happiness. Just imagine this happiness expression just rolling through their mind, through their faces, through their bodies, through their facial expressions, and take in all of that energy with them. And imagine how you would feel in response. Would you be sharing their joy with them? Would you be smiling? Would you be giggling with them, jumping for joy with them? You're just imagining them at their happiest, and you're sharing this space with them. And you're so happy for them. And you're feeling so much love and appreciation for them in this moment. Just take a few moments to just be here, just a few seconds. Imagine how your body might be feeling in physical response to this. Would your heart rate be speeding up? Would you feel butterflies in your stomach? Could you imagine your eyes tearing up with joy? Would your smile be getting bigger and bigger? Try to connect with yourself in this emotional state for a few moments. Now, I want you to imagine that this person is you. This person is you. And if you can't imagine seeing you yourself in front of them, imagine all of those feelings of love and appreciation being shared from you to you. And that in this moment, you are really seeing yourself. In this moment, you are really seeing yourself through the lens of deep love, of self-compassion, of self-appreciation. And you're sharing this joy and just being able to hold that space for you and to see the things that you can appreciate about yourself and to hold space for your own joy and your own happiness and all that you give to the world and all that you give to yourself. Even in this moment of holding space for yourself, that you can hold appreciation for you showing up for you today, for you showing up for your community around you, and just giving yourself all of this love, all of this compassion, whatever you can have access to in this moment. And if you can't access a lot of those feelings, it's okay. But right now in this moment, you are holding space for yourself. And that is noteworthy. Taking another deep breath in through your nose. And exhale. You can place your hands right here on your chest and take another deep breath in through your nose. And exhale. Holding the space for yourself right now. Feeling proud of yourself for showing up today and telling yourself in this moment, I'm proud of myself for showing up for me. And I did a pretty good job. And that is always worth making note of. You can give yourself a nice little stretch over your head. You can move your wrists around in circles, stretch your legs out in front of you if you can. Gently move your ankles around. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So nice being here with all of you today. I really appreciate it. And I hope this was a great start to your day. And these are small tools that you can come back to from time to time, whether it be just the breath work, whether it be just finding a guided meditation on YouTube, or if you want to find me somewhere, I'm happy to make some recommendations in our community. And so happy and so thankful to be able to start the day with all of you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for showing up for you.
Andromeda, thank you so much for a wonderful mindfulness session. I can't even speak. I'm so relaxed. I started off this morning feeling pretty frazzled. But, something that you shared about, just because it's good for you doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And that really hit me because I think so many of us are like, oh my God, I should do this diet, or I should try this practice, or I should sit very, very still. And my mind doesn't always work like that, Like, why is my mind talking back to me? I should be like completely serene. And that's not true. So I appreciate you like giving me that little reminder.
Happy to. You're right. You're right. Like it doesn't work. It's not a one size fits all, and that's okay.
And the other thing that I really noted was like your joy. Like you just had this like joy and serenity, like as you were facilitating the session with us. I was like, I really just want to sit in that space and occupy the joy she has because it was really giving. It was really, really beautiful. So thank you so much for facilitating this session and getting this day started off on the right track, filled with love, mindfulness, and joy.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. It's more than an honor to be here. I love being here with all of you today. I'm glad you could pick up on it and just sharing little things here and there that can be helpful for someone.
Thank you, Andromeda. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. I'll see
Thank you.
you.
I'll see you in the community. Bye, everyone.
Bye.